Welcome to Mortgage 101, where you will learn the important steps of buying or refinancing a home. Hello, I am glad you are here. My name is Nathan Rufty, a mortgage loan originator with over 25 years of lending experience that has your best interests in mind. After listening to this full podcast, connect with me to discuss your home loan needs. Now on with the show. Welcome to another very informative podcast at Mortgage 101. Hello, my name is Nathan Rufty, a mortgage loan originator to help you purchase or refinance a home in the state of California and Arizona. So today's podcast is, what credit score do I need to buy a house? FHA currently right now, it used to be they would insure anybody down to the minimum credit score of 350. Now FHA will insure anybody down to a 500 credit score, but you as a consumer must find that lender that's going to lend down to that 500 credit scores. There are lenders that have an overlay that will say, no, we're only going to take somebody below or above 580, 600, 620, 640, 660, or 680. So each lender can have their particular overlays when it comes to credit score and what's in the body of the credit. And I've talked about that before in a podcast, which I'll have a link below, about credit. But this is about credit scores. But you need two things when it comes to credit. You need the credit score and what's in the body of it. You may have a lendable credit score of a 640 to go conventional, FHA, VA, USDA, but what's in that body of that credit score may still hamper your ability to be able to buy or refinance a property. But right now, currently, FHA goes down to 500, and the company I'm currently with will go down to a 500 credit score. But you're still, that 525 individual to go in FHA is not going to have the same benefits as somebody with a 640. Do remember that. So if your credit score is below, typically 580 or below, you are going to have some FHA overlays, which means you may have to put more money down, or you may have to have some reserves on the file, which is reserves or the mortgage payment. So if your mortgage payment is $1,000 a month, they like to have anywhere between 2, 3, or even 6 months worth of mortgage payments sitting in a retirement account, 401k, stocks, bonds, IRAs, mutual funds, anything like that. You don't have to pull them out, just have them in there. And we'll need to get some conditions regarding that. But 500 credit score minimum for FHA. We go down to a 500, but there are going to be some lender overlays on that when it comes to FHA. We don't have any overlays particularly because we'll go down to 500 and we'll take what desktop underwriting wants us to take. So if you have a credit score below that 580, a 620 mark, do connect with me. We can talk about your credit. But if you're at a 525, there's a lot going on with your credit currently than just being overextended on some credit cards. There's some past due payments, collections, there's some charge-offs, there may be a recent bankruptcy and you haven't reestablished yourself back in the credit world. I am not a credit repair company, but I look at credit all day. So there are some things you can do to increase that credit score. VA currently 580 or higher. Also, VA can take, lenders will take overlays on VAs. They may only lend down to a 600, 620, 640. They like to go in those 20 blocks. They won't go like 610 or 605 or 608. It's 580, 600, 620. We currently go down to a 580, which is low, just like FHA, 500. But if you have a 580 credit score going VA, there's some underlying issues there. Just like I said before, you're not extended on your debt. There's some outstanding collections, charge-offs, something that needs to be paid. And the vast majority of the collections and charge-offs I see that take somebody down below that 620 is they have medical bills they don't know about, a utility bill meaning like a cable bill or a cell phone bill they weren't unaware of that was outstanding that they need to pay, and that collection account is hitting their credit every single month. But VA, 580. And each lender will have their overlays on that. So you got to find a lender that will go down to a 580. Conventional, that's Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac. Bottom line is a 620. That's everybody across the board. And pretty much everybody does not increase, lenders will not increase that from a 620 to a 640 or 680. It's a 620. That's what Fannie and Freddie Mac will go down to, is a 620. But that's where you got to look at what's going to benefit you better, what's going to pencil out on the payment. FHA might be better than a conventional, even if you have a 620 credit score. If you have a 630 and you're putting minimum 10% down, the FHA program may benefit you more than the conventional. So those are the things that we will look at once we review your file. But conventionally is a 620 credit score. There's some underlying conditions on that, but you still can put 620 credit score with 3% down. So you can do that. But I mean, we got to look at your overall file. That's the whole key of it. Is just because you have 3% down with a 620 and a 48% debt ratio, you may not get qualified. So that's something we have to look at and prepare you. USDA is a 620 currently right now. USDA is not a popular program, at least in the areas that I land. I wish we would do them more because it's a great program. There's no money for the down payment, zero down for the down payment, 100% financing, minimal mortgage insurance at currently 620. They're in designated rural areas, but they're down to a 620. Still very, very good program. And down payment assistance, there are down payment assistance will underwrite their own file, and they'll have a 620. We go down to a 620 on a DPA called the Chenoa Fund, and also there's state-specific fund down payment assistance programs, and they may require that 640 or better. Some is a 660 or a 680. So those credit scores. Now, the non-traditional, it's called non-QM in our business, that do not follow the traditional guidelines of FHA, VA, conventional, USDA, or down payment assistance, these lenders will securitize their own loan. They will do whatever they want on their credit score, but they're not going to go down to a 580 with 10%. They know that you cannot do a traditional loan because maybe you had a bankruptcy that was discharged only discharged 12 months. And they know that you need a 4-year window for conventional, a 2-year window for FHA, and a 2-year window for VA. So they just might say, well, bankruptcy 12 months onto Chapter 7, we know you can't do traditional financing, so we will lend to you, but have you reestablished yourself back in the credit world? We're not going to allow you to come in with 3 or 3.5% down. They may require you to 5, 10, 15, or 20% down. So you do have options with a lendable credit score that if you can't do traditional financing, you may possibly be able to do non-QM financing, which does not meet the traditional guidelines of Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, FHA, or a VA or USDA. But currently, right now, let's recap. The lender I work with currently will go down to a 500 on an FHA. VA, 580. Conventional, 620. That's across the board with every single lender. USDA is a 620. But like I mentioned before, if you have a credit score below a 620, there's a lot going on with your credit than just being overextended on your debt. You've had some dings in the past or currently have dings on collections, charge-offs that's still affecting your credit score to increase. And those can be easily paid off, closed out, paid down, and those things will increase your credit score. You as a consumer must work on that credit. Years ago, I'm talking many years ago when I got into the business, we looked at the file and looked at the overall borrower. What you had in the bank, your long-term job, your debt-to-income ratio. We graded everybody A+, A minus, and so on and so on. And we submitted the file to the end investor. Well, today it's easy that your credit score, well, you don't meet the credit score, you're done. We don't go past that. Now, me as a loan officer, if you're a willing and able buyer or a refinance homeowner, I'm a willing and able loan officer that's going to assist you. And if you have a credit score that is not lendable, what's in the body of or what the credit score is, I'm going to give you some directive on this is what you need to do to increase that credit score, pay some bills down, take care of the collections. I am not a credit repair company, but I can give you some free advice on how to improve that credit score, whether that impact it for the positive or the negative. I can just give you some helpful tips and advice on what to do to increase that credit. And it's you as a consumer must own that and take it on yourself to increase your credit score. Nobody else can do that but you. And you can do it for free on your own, is pay bills down. But the credit score is key today. That's how we just judge people. It's on paper. You got a credit score, you're lendable? Nope. Okay, move on. You don't meet our credit score requirements and we move on. That's what the industry does. So you got to find that loan officer that's willing and able to guide you on, to give you some free tips. If you were able to do this, it can affect. It's a what if scenario. It's if you do this, this is the potential. There's no saying if you do this, you're going to get those 10 points. No, I'm not a credit repair company. I can just give you some helpful advice on what I have looked at over the credits of the 20-something years that I've been in the business. If you take care of these things, your credit score has the potential to increase. Okay, So 580 credit score, this is what you need as a credit score to buy a house or even possibly refinance one. FHA 500, VA 580, conventional 620, USDA 620 as well, and some down payment assistance programs, 620, 640, 666, 680. So if you're looking to purchase, buy a house in the state of Arizona or California, I'd love to connect with you and go over your credit and see how we can assist you on buying a house. And we just got to establish a credit score. If you got a job and you got ability for somewhat of a down payment, but you're not meeting the credit score requirement, let's see what we need to do to increase those credit scores. But those are the credit score requirements. But like I said, in the link below on Can I Buy a House with Bad Credit, there's two parts to the credit. It's your credit score and what's in the body of the credit. You still may have a lendable credit score of a 640 to meet all the programs, but what's in that body of that credit report still may hamper your ability to secure a home loan. So we need to look at that. My name is Nathan Rufty. I'd love to connect with you and talk to you about buying a house or refinancing one. All my contact information is below. Have a great, successful day. Thank you again for taking the time to listen to this very informative podcast. Remember to subscribe, share, like, and comment. There is no better time than today to explore your options to purchase or refinance a home. Please call, text, or email me at the information below to get started right away, and I look forward in hearing from you.